A Course in Miracles. Lesson 175. God is but love, and therefore so am I. Reviewing Lesson 159. I give the miracles I have received. God is but love, and therefore so am I. Reviewing Lesson 160. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. God is but love, and therefore so am I. You thought fear was you. What if it was only a stranger? Lesson 175. There is a clue hiding in today's lesson. A very specific clue. The lesson does not say fear is your enemy. It does not say fear is your friend. It does not say fear is your shadow. It does not say fear is your past. It says, I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. That is a strange choice of words. Why stranger? Why not visitor? Why not guest? Why not neighbor? Why not companion? Why stranger? Let's start with a simple question. What is a stranger? A stranger is someone you do not recognize, someone unfamiliar, someone unknown. The word itself contains the clue, because if fear were truly what you are, why would it be described as unfamiliar? Think about that. If fear were truly part of your nature, why would it feel foreign? If fear were truly what God created, why would it seem unknown? If fear were truly you, why would it require constant convincing? What is real recognizes itself. You do not need someone to convince you that your hand is your hand. You do not need evidence that your name is your name. You do not need a debate to prove what is already obvious. Recognition is immediate. Recognition is natural. Recognition simply is. Yet fear seems to operate differently. Fear always arrives with an introduction. Fear arrives with an explanation. Fear arrives with a warning. Fear arrives with a prediction. Fear arrives with a story about tomorrow. Fear arrives with a story about loss. Fear arrives with a story about rejection. Fear arrives with a story about guilt. That alone should make a detective curious. Why does fear work so hard to convince you it belongs? Why does fear need testimony? Why does fear need witnesses? Why does fear need proof? Truth does not need proof. Truth is self-evident. The lesson says, I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Notice what it does not say. It does not say fear became a stranger. It does not say fear turned into a stranger. It does not say fear was once family and later became unfamiliar. It says fear is the stranger. Present tense. Right now. The stranger never became the stranger. The stranger arrived as the stranger. The only thing that changed was recognition. The homeowner forgot who belonged in the house. Imagine opening your front door and finding a complete stranger standing there. Within a few minutes, you begin introducing yourself. Within an hour, you begin taking advice. Within a day, you hand over the keys. Within a week, you cannot remember who owned the house in the first place. Sounds ridiculous. Yet, isn't that exactly what happens with fear? The stranger starts giving directions. The stranger starts making decisions. The stranger starts defining your identity. The stranger starts telling you who you are. And eventually you stop questioning the stranger because you have mistaken the stranger for yourself. Today's lesson gently questions the entire arrangement, because beneath today's lesson sits the review's central idea.
God is but love, and therefore, so am I. If God is but love, and therefore so am I, then love would be familiar. Love would feel like home. Love would not need to convince itself that it belongs. Love would not need to prove itself. Love would simply recognize itself. And perhaps that is the clue hidden in the word stranger. Maybe fear feels unfamiliar because it is unfamiliar. Maybe fear feels foreign because it is foreign. Maybe fear feels like it does not belong because it does not belong. Maybe every moment of tension is quietly pointing to the same fact. Something foreign is being mistaken for something true. The lesson does not ask you to fight fear. The lesson does not ask you to defeat fear. The lesson does not ask you to make fear disappear. It simply asks you to notice who is standing in the doorway, and then ask a question. If fear is the stranger here, why have you spent so many years calling it you?